So Westy, 250, what does that mean to you?
Not too sure, to be honest. That I'm getting old is probably one thing, but obviously to still be here and still be relevant within the group, and obviously to see Robbie go through it all last week, it's kind of sunk in a little bit what it's going to be like for me this week. So obviously looking back over the last 12, 13 seasons, we've probably come a long way and probably a different person since the start. So and probably just to share that with my family and friends over the weekend and celebrate, and hopefully with a win would be nice, but just to celebrate that and have that longevity in the game is obviously important.
Why are you playing so well at supposedly the back end of your career? Obviously first club champion last year, you played as well as ever on the weekend. What's the secret?
I'm not sure there is a secret. I think just I think we talk about age being a barrier in the AFL landscape, and I haven't seen that at all, especially with the guys that we've got in the team at the moment, going towards the older stages of their career. But I think you've got to see it as a challenge, and I'm working harder than ever that I did, probably even harder now than what I did just coming into the system. So I think you just got to put your best foot forward each week, and enjoyment is probably another big factor of performing, and just being amongst the group at the moment is obviously an exciting time, and you can obviously play on that a little bit the older you get, which is a good thing for me.
Do you have one eye on Cameron's games record?
I think I did say once I'd like to beat him at some stage, but that's so far off, and we're just focusing on winning games of footy, and that's really what it's all about at the moment. I think if you keep winning and enjoying it, and staying in the process of what it is to get out there each week, obviously it's a little bit harder to get out there each week the older you get, but it would be nice to knock him off, that's for sure.
How do you feel physically? Like this, I think Ken said a while ago, compared you to Dustin Fletcher, he said no reason why you can't play for a lot more years. Do you feel like there's limitless how far you can go at this point?
Yes and no. I think at the moment the body feels as good as it's ever been, and I think the way we're playing at the moment and the way the AFL system has gone is obviously suiting people having longevity in the game. I think even this year we got guys who are pretty much in their prime playing 250 games, upwards of 300 games. So obviously that's a chance, but I think these days the mental side of the game and still being interested and still being upbeat from week to week is obviously just as important as being physically able to do it. So if not more so important. So I think as long as that's up there and I'm still enjoying coming into the club each week and each day to train, I'll be sticking around.
There was a great photo after the win against Melbourne on the weekend where the six new guys were in the middle getting sprayed with Gatorade. Yep. How much enjoyment does that give you as an older player to see these young blokes, and obviously Scott Rice and Ron Burke as well, come to the club and play so well in their first game?
You probably don't realise until you get a little bit older what that means to these young kids coming through, and to win the way we did on the weekend, it's obviously something that you remember forever, and you probably, the media and all that probably saw half the excitement of the group just in the games after, and then to be tucked away just with us is obviously an important part of why we play footy. The 20 minutes after a game is the best feeling you get in a game. So, and just the experience with those guys and their families in the change rooms, and obviously the build up to round one is always, you've got so much emotion and involved in that. So to let that all out after the game and to experience that with the group, we can definitely build on, and hopefully a few more of them.
What can it do for you,
Bob? Obviously to have these young guys on board and to playing the way they're playing, that lifts guys like me and guys that are still craving for that success, to believe that it's still achievable. And I think that's a big thing for us at the moment. Guys come across with a bit of experience and to have 4 debutants play the way they did and do everything for the team, I don't think we've had that in a while, and it's definitely something that we can build on as a club and as a playing group.
So mentally, so you just get edged in that, and you sort of think we've got to pick up the pieces. Now you're steering win and a bit of an upset now. How important is it to maximise the platform you've set?
Oh, it's huge. I think we did that last year and we just weren't able to consistently do it over the whole year. That win against Sydney last year really set us up for the first part of the season, and we just weren't able to capitalise on that. And this year we're in the same position. This week is so important for us as a group to back up what we did last week, and to really build on what we've achieved in a short amount of time with the guys that we got in the park. So that's why this week coming up is probably more important to get that solidarity within the group and to build a little bit more going into the rest of the year.
You've seen this club at varying stages, on its knees,
yep.
Contesting. Where do you think you're at now?
I think probably coming into this season, we're probably back down to where we were a couple of years ago. We've been given no chance. We've been a bit of backlash on what we've done, decisions we've made with the captaincy and things like that. We're back to the underdogs, and which we've been over the last few years, but there's just been an inner belief, and I know a lot of the guys are talking about a connection with the group. Has been the highest it's ever been since I've been at the club. So obviously it's important to hold that close to our chest and build on that each week, but there just seems to be just a smouldering feeling within the group that we can achieve something pretty big.
Why is the connection so good?
I just think we've just consolidated as a group. Obviously, after 2 years of pretty disappointing footy, we had guys leave the club. We've had guys come in. We've recruited well. It just seems like we've consolidated. We've steadied our feet a little bit, and we just feel like we're better off this year than we were last couple of years. And I think you can see that within the group. Obviously, we've had a bit of game plan change from last year to this year, which has obviously helped us. And I think the guys are really feeding off that, especially the young guys.
Do you still enjoy your versatile role that you play and being able to float all across the ground?
Yeah, it's that's probably saved my career to a certain extent. It's rejuvenated probably my love for the footy over the last 3 or 4 years. Obviously, to be good in one position is pretty hard, but I think to play a variety of roles, it just frees up the mental aspect of playing footy and a bit of freedom. I think you lose that a little bit the more times you play in the single position, and probably more mentally, and a bit of a change has obviously helped my career especially. So I've definitely thrived on that over the last couple of years.
You got a bit full circle. You seem to play a bit more forward the week off the rider and like I said, sharing the ruck duties and stuff. Have you gone back again a bit more forward this year? Yeah,
I think that's probably come with the new rules as well. Just not being able to play, that role straight from the centre bounce or things like that. And that's probably over the last couple of weeks has probably been a good thing to have that 6 forwards. And being forced to play that at the start of each stoppage. So that's probably changed a little bit, but obviously, when you win games of footy, that tends to, you don't have to play a variety of roles because the guys are pretty set, and we're playing some good footy. So, when we're under pressure, I'm not sure if that will change, or, history would say that would change, but we'll see what happens.
No Dicko either, obviously, up there.
Yeah, obviously that changes a little bit. When he's fit and ready to go, that will obviously change my role a little bit. But, we have to play and wait and see. Obviously the 2 ruck situation as well, if we want to play that many tools. But, my role could change to play a little bit more half forward rather if Mick comes back. We just don't know.
How sweeter has it been in the position you are now, Hock? You're one of the few guys who've endured the roller coaster for so long.
Yep. Obviously, you know, to still be around and obviously to see the club go through periods where they're not as good as what they should be, it's obviously makes the winning a little bit more sweeter. And obviously, I just want to play footy to win games. But I don't know. I'm just looking forward to go out there and playing with these guys that we got at the moment, and that's just an exciting thing. And that's why you want to come back and keep playing for your teammates. And that's all I'm doing at the moment. And you know, I'm sure we'll come to a period where it's going to be tough, but you know, I'm happy to be sticking around and going through that as well at the moment as well.
Who I mean, not many blokes that would be big enough, but who do you want to cheer you up on Saturday afternoon?
I want to get the win at the moment, but I'd just be happy with winning games of footy. I haven't won a milestone game in my whole career, so it'd be nice to win one and walk off with the head held high and have a few beers after with the boys and celebrate with my family, you know, with a smile. So I'm looking forward to the process of that.
So you lost all of them, so 50, 100, 150, 200?
Debut, yep, all of them. So I'm hopefully I'm not the bad charm or unlucky charm. So hopefully this is the week. Hopefully, otherwise I might have to stick around until 300. But yeah.
Wesley, you talked about the young guys, but what sort of role have the second year guys like Rockland, Watts and Whitlock? What sort of role have they played, you know, during the pre-season and then this season? Obviously, they all played great games at the MTG last week. Can you sort of talk about their influence?
I think they've obviously come over to this club with a wealth of knowledge, and we probably haven't been able to tap in that too much over the last couple of years. And to have them around for another year, and obviously there's been pressure put on those guys, and they've come, you know, full circle with where they've come from over the last, you know, 6 months. So, and they're just great guys to have around the club. You want to play with them. Obviously smart guys. Their footy sense is as good as any guy, you know, running out there. So we really want those guys up and firing, and if they are, you know, they seem to carry one or two guys along with them just by that. So, you know, we want those guys firing, and they bring so much more when they're up and about, and with the other boys.
Talk about lows and highs and living for now. At your lowest point in the last couple of years, did you actually consider, you know, this might be the end, might be time to retire? Did it get that bad for you?
Not probably to retire, probably mentally, probably not the last couple of years, probably a little bit before that, just you know, where the club was at, and is it just worthwhile you know, is it just better to, you know, pull the boots up and that's it and move on. But it's probably never got to the stage where that was ever going to come to fruition. But you know, each week I've just gone out and tried to do my best and do whatever I can for other guys, and that hasn't changed really. And I think I take pride in going out there and coming off a better player, and it probably just, you know, the pride and things like that within me, just wanted to stick it through, and you always got to come out better at the other end if you stick around and see it through. So I'm sure everyone goes through periods where they, you know, struggle to come up with reasons why to get back out and into the track each week. But yeah, you just got to stick around.
What's driving you now?
Probably the same thing as it has been when I first came to the club, and that's to win a premiership. And the process with that leads up to that is obviously pretty important as well. And to build those relationships with those guys and to do that with your best mates, that's always been the goal with my footy, and that hasn't changed over 13 seasons that I've been here. And we definitely, I wouldn't be sitting here if I didn't think that was achievable. So that's always been the goal going forward each year.
Have you seen 4 better debutants than you saw on the weekend in one game?
Not many more, and just the occasion, you know, underdogs at the MCG, to have 6 guys play the first game and 4 debutants. I'm not sure we've seen that. I certainly haven't seen that since I've been at the club. So, hopefully those guys, well, they're definitely going to be around for a long time. And just their smarts around the ball and the footy smarts is, haven't seen that with young guys like that. So it's pretty exciting for the club to have those guys start out the way they did, and if I know their character, they'll be sticking around.
Justin, Ken said it was the best win in his time at the club in a round 1 game. Firstly, do you agree with that, and why do you think it meant so much to you?
Obviously, to have 6 new players to the club play their first game, underdogs, what we've been through over the last 6 months, it was obviously a big game for the club. And I suppose for where we're at and where we want to go to, I think it was a huge step forward for us, and I think Kenny's spot on. It's a stepping stone for us to where we want to go, and for us to achieve that, there probably wasn't as big of a moment for us as a club since forever. So I think Kenny was pretty spot on with that comment.
Jack, what seemed like the most relief in the world after the game? He said he found it hard to get out of bed. Obviously, as a team, you guys would notice that more than anyone. So how big was the relief of the group to see him that?
Oh, it was huge for Jack. Obviously, he's had it's been well publicised about his last 6 months, and I think it's hard to go through that period of time when you can't come out and play, the way you want to play, and support and back up your club for supporting you. So it's obviously a big weight off his shoulders, and you can probably see that over the last 3 or 4 days. And I'm just happy for him. Really, he's an amazing guy. He gives everything for the club, for each one of us, and he holds the spirit of the club pretty close to his chest. So I'm rapt for him that he can come around and express the way he did on the ground, and go out the way he did. It's great for the club.
And just finally, Ollie, just another week away with his shoulder, you reckon?
I think they're obviously testing pretty hard this week. I think with Ollie, we don't really want to risk him, throw him into there where he's not ready. So it's a long year, and we want him to be out there for the rest of the year. If it's this week or next week, I'm sure the guys will put him through his paces over the next couple of days. I'd love him to be out this week, but if that's not the case, he'll be next week. So we'll just have to wait and see, but we'd love him out there as quick as can.
Hoff, is there one person in particular that you're glad is playing in your 250th?
I think probably the guy that played his 200th last year. I think Robbie Gray. It's obviously going to be big for us 3 that are still around, me, Robbie and Trav, to still be out there and playing together. And obviously to share that with the young guys as well. The past 2 weeks are going to be pretty big to where we want to go and set up our season. So those 2 guys are probably the first 2 that I'll be having a beer with after the game, win, lose and draw. So those 2 guys are up there.
Great stuff. Thanks, mate.